Alrighty, well, as social media inundates much of our personal and professional lives, it's easy to get lost in the illusion that everything is as picture perfect as you see on your screen.
You mean it isn't? Oh, come on.
It's just the highlight reel.
But you know, we're seeing the world through filtered lenses on Instagram, Facebook, and that can have a heavy toll on our mind and our spirit. Everything looks too good to be true, right? So here to help us focus on being our authentic selves amid the social media frenzy is Dr. Dain Heer, best-selling author and co-creator of Access Consciousness. Good to see you again. Now, we all know that nobody is really that perfect. But when we see everybody's picture looking so perfect, the filters, you know, and even some filters make you look better than you really are. But, you know, everybody curates what they put on social media. They only pick the very best things. So you say one of the keys here is being more authentic and being willing to just mess up. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, you know, none of us is perfect, regardless of what people are trying to put out there and say, hey, I'm so perfect, look at me. And what we do when we're not willing to mess it up is, number one, we lose the joy. But also what we're doing is what everybody else is doing, which is trying to pander to people's positive judgments and avoid their negative judgments. Whereas when you're truly willing to mess it up, judgment becomes irrelevant, and we get out of that cycle that so many people are currently finding themselves in.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It really is, I think, a cycle of like just having everything be perfect and look a certain way. But I've noticed I've really enjoyed following people that are a little bit, that are more authentic. Dr. Dain, I want to ask you, you know, we also need to stop caring, I think, so much about what other people think. I know a lot of us, you know, consider what we're going to post, what we're going to comment, but, you know, it's so much easier said than done. What's your advice on how we can stop caring about what others think?
Well, you know, there's a well-known phrase that says, your point of view about me is none of my business. We really need to adopt that, because otherwise we are thinking continuously about what other people think, which is a lot of thinking that goes nowhere to creation and actually enjoying the process. And if we can recognize that other people's judgments actually doesn't do anything to us, they're good judgments or they're bad judgments. I mean, if you think about it, if everybody in the world loved you right now, would it change how you feel about you? And if everybody hated you, would it change how you feel about you? It actually doesn't. What's really important is, how do I feel about me? What's my point of view about me? And not from a point of view of excluding other people, but excluding the need to get their validation, because nobody can validate us unless we're willing to acknowledge ourselves.
Wow.
Good point.
So
Yeah, that
well
is
said.
very deep. But, you know, Dr. Dain, we put that stuff out on social media because we're looking for that validation, right? We want somebody to like our post. We want them to comment on our post, and we want them to judge and say what they feel about it. So what is your take on and having to prove ourselves?
Well, here's the thing. If we no longer had to prove anything to anybody outside of us, then we'd have to be present with us and what's really going on for us. So if we're having a terrible day, if we can acknowledge it, hey, I'm having a terrible day, rather than if I get enough likes, my day might get better, then we can be present with what is, and then we can change what is. We need to stop trying to prove to other people, because other people are not living our lives for us. We are. And their point of view, no positive or negative, can be a contribution or a detriment. But when we make that the source and we make our lives about proving to other people, we lose the value of being present with us.
And Dr. Dain, you've talked a little bit about kind of judgment as you've been talking. One of your other tips is to shed the judgment. Talk about why that in and of itself can be so detrimental.
Because when we function from the value of judgment, what it does is, it's that thing of when you put one toe in, now you're sucked in. And when we function on the value of judgment, what we do is our entire lives are about, what is this person thinking? What is this person thinking? And social media will perpetrate that, because number one, it's always with us. But number two, it starts us on that road. If we can allow ourselves to shed the judgment of us and others. And how do we do that? When you notice yourself judging you about something, you'll notice you'll get that contraction that judgment creates. Just stop, take a breath, go do something else, come back to it and go, okay, now what? What's really true for me here? Because judgment is never us functioning from what's true for us. And if we would instead be us and be vulnerable and allow ourselves to bring humor to the situation, we create a totally different inspiration for other people to know they can be the same, to know they can laugh at themselves, and to actually change the narrative on social media where it's about us being us and inspiring other people and creating more of what brings likeness to all of us.
Can you go through a little bit more deeply how we can show some humor and be vulnerable on social media? And I think, Eileen, this is what you were talking about. It sucks you in when you see something that's not quite so perfect, right?
Yeah.
Or it's comical, it's funny, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, doesn't it though? You know, we really at this point, we're looking for people who are truly being them, who are not doing it from the image and the perfection. And so, you know, let's say you're making a video and the cat walks through or the lawnmower goes on or your kids scream, you know, acknowledge it, laugh about it with everybody, because none of us is perfect. None of us has perfect situations in our lives. And if we can show up as that, what we do is we create a soft, a gentle, a kinder world that is less about the judgment, and let's laugh at ourselves, which, let's face it, we could all use more laughter. And when you're laughing at you, when you're truly laughing and having a good time at your foibles, you're not in judgment of them.
Yeah, the imperfect stuff. That's the good stuff. Thanks so much, Dr. Dain Heer. Always good to talk to you. Author, speaker, and you can get some more information from him at drdainheer, HEER.com. Thanks for being with us again.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.